Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Friday, the 28th of November, 2025 edition of Pulse of the Week with your man Kofi Asante Mensah, live from our studios here in Amahia in Accra, the center of the world. This is NSG News TV, streaming live on all our social media platforms, especially on YouTube. Our website, www.nsgnews.com. This is the program that brings a news update to you and does news analysis for your comprehension, breaks the issues down for you, for your consumption. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah. Always a pleasure to come here to serve you. My production team is more than ready. Tonight, we have stories from Parliament because the Deputy Minority Leader, Patricia Appiagyei, is up with a press conference accusing the Speaker and also the Majority Leader of some things. And we'll take a critical look at that. We'll also celebrate and the life and legacy of former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings as the country bids farewell to her. And you can see me in all black and even black glasses this evening, or dark glasses this evening. Tonight we'll look also at the roundup of debate of the 2026 budget and the appropriations. I'm sure will be done within next week. We'll take a quick look at all of that. We'll look at the judgment as breaking news coming through now. The camp of the legendary Dade Lumba, the Kumasi High Court has given a pronouncement or a ruling on who can do the widowhood right, etc. We'll look at that. There's also a warning to the public ahead of the 2026 World Cup. Who is given this very warning? We'll take a good look at that. And also the Education Minister is indicating that the children, the senior high school children, are using the government tablet to watch other things other than learning. When I return from this break, we have the stories here for you. Please stay with me. Kofi Asante Mensah, and this is Pulse of the Week on Friday, 28th day of November 2025. And this is coming to you from the Republic of Ghana. Today, Ghana bids a very big farewell. We'll look at the tribute, the emotion, the heartfelt tribute as given at the Black Star Square here in the Republic of Ghana. But first, let's begin from the camp of the minority from Parliament, because that August out, the minority in Parliament is demanding an unqualified apology from the Speaker of Parliament and the Majority Leader, accusing both leaders of embarrassing the country and violating ECOWAS protocols in what they describe as a political persecution of the Minority Leader. Speaking at a press conference or a press briefing, the Deputy Minority Leader, Patricia Appiagyei, said recent developments in the House amount to a coordinated attempt to undermine and remove their leader, Osahene Afenyo-Markin. According to her, she wrote multiple letters to the Speaker, Alban Bagwen, to express her strong displeasure at what she called a unilateral move by the Majority Leader, Mahama Ayariga, insisting that the decision disregarded parliamentary procedure and the Minority Caucus. First, I'll show you the press conference of Honorable Deputy Minority Leader Patricia Appiagyei. But first, I want to show you the ruling as delivered yesterday by the Speaker of Parliament, Right Honorable Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagwen. Please watch this.
Jurisdiction. Contempt of Parliament refers to any act or omission that obstructs, impedes, or undermines Parliament in the performance of its functions, or which affronts its dignity, or tends either directly or indirectly to obstruct, impede, undermine Parliament in the performance of its functions, or affront the dignity of Parliament. Parliament's power to address contempt is inherent in its constitutional status as a coordinate arm of government and is expressly recognized under Article 122 of the Constitution, Order 30 of the Standing Orders, and Section 26 of the Parliament Act 1965, Act 300. Honorable members, The jurisdiction to sanction contempt is not limited to acts committed within the chamber. The relevant test is whether the conduct, wherever it occurs, has a direct or indirect tendency to obstruct, diminish, or bring Parliament into disrepute or ridicule. Parliament may therefore exercise its contempt jurisdiction over conduct occurring outside the presence of the House, where such conduct undermines the institution's authority or impairs its ability to give effect to its decisions. Honourable members, I note that the specific instances of contempt listed in the standing orders, such as disorderly behavior, deceit, or disobedience of an order issued by the presiding officer, do not expressly identify non-compliance with or disregard of a resolution as a distinct ground of contempt. A resolution, as earlier observed, is a decision of Parliament, not an order of the Speaker. There is therefore no express provision making its breach a stand-alone category of contempt. However, Section 26 of Act 300 makes clear that the enumeration of contempt grounds is not exhaustive. Parliament retains the right to treat as contempt any act that impedes its functions or affronts its dignity. Order 31A similarly contemplates conduct, whether specific or general, that brings Parliament into disrepute or undermines its institutional authority. It is within this broader category that the present allegation must be assessed. Honourable members, it is useful to consider what constitutes an affront to the dignity or authority of Parliament. Orders 30C and 31A prove directly or indirectly brings Parliament into disrepute or which undermines its authority, reputation, or dignity may amount to contempt. These capture behavior that, while not obstructing proceedings, undermines Parliament's standing, coherence, or credibility. An affront to the dignity or authority of Parliament may arise where a member's conduct A. challenges or disregards a valid act or decision of the House. B. diminishes the institutional authority of Parliament or the Speaker. C. undermines public confidence in the discipline, unity, or dignity of Parliament. Or D. brings Parliament into disrepute before state organs or external bodies. Unlike other specific grounds of contempt set out in the standing orders, this category focuses not on the place where the act occurred, but on its effect. Conduct that conveys the impression that Parliament's decision may be ignored without consequence qualify as an affront to dignity, even if committed outside the presence of the House. Democratic experience across the world teaches that institutions endure not by their formal design alone, but by the conduct of those entrusted with them. The strength of this House, therefore, rests not merely in its constitutional design, but in the consistent respect members accord to its decisions and processes. Honourable members, having reviewed the complaint, the standing orders, and the governing principles, I am satisfied that the matter raised prima facie implicates the dignity and institutional integrity of this House. Pursuant to Order 34.1, I therefore refer the matter, the complaint lodged by the Honourable Member for Bawku Central and a majority leader to the Committee on Privileges and Immunities for examination, inquiry, investigation, and report to the House. The committee is directed to 1. Ascertain the relevant facts giving rise to the complaint, including the actions taken by the House and by the Honourable Member concerned. 2. Review those actions taken within the framework of outstanding orders and the applicable protocols of the ECOWAS Parliament. 3. Determine whether the conduct, if established, constitutes contempt of Parliament or a breach of privilege under Orders 30 and 31A. And 4. Make appropriate recommendations to the House for its consideration. In conclusion, honourable members, whatever our political differences, the authority of Parliament rests on a shared commitment to respect its decisions and uphold the integrity of its processes. Allegations that a member has disregarded a decision of this House must therefore be examined with fairness, constitutional fidelity, and a clear regard for the institutional independence of Parliament. I urge the committee to discharge its mandate with diligence, impartiality, and decorum, ensuring that all parties are given a fair hearing. Until the committee completes its inquiry and responds to the House, and reports to the House, I advise honourable members to refrain from public commentary on this matter in order to preserve the dignity and unity of this august House. I thank all of you for your attention, and I pray that discipline will prevail in this matter. Thank you so much.
Right, so that's the Speaker of Parliament over there, and I saw Minority Leader Osahene Afenyomaken stood, but like we usually say, or they say in the August House, he didn't catch the eye of the Speaker, so he wasn't called to make any pronouncement on this very ruling. So he was referred to the Privileges Committee yesterday, and today the Deputy Minority Leader, Honorable Patricia Appiagyei, was basically up in arms, and she's calling, among others, the minority is therefore calling for the immediate withdrawal of the referral made by the Speaker of Parliament against their leader, and an apology to the minority caucus, the nation, and ECOWAS. And this is what she said at her press conference. Please listen.
We in the minority, we are here and we demand the following. 1, the immediate withdrawal of the Privileges Committee's petition. It is gross abuse of process and an affront to justice. A public apology from the Speaker and majority leader, to ECOWAS and to the people of Ghana for the international embarrassment they caused. 3, the passage of a resolution restoring Honorable Afenyomaken's name to Ghana's ECOWAS delegation and affirming Ghana's commitment to the rule of law under Article 75 of the Constitution. 4, an end to the coordinated persecution of the minority leader by the Attorney General's Office, NDC operatives, and party foot soldiers. And finally, fifth, the prosecution of Chief Sofo Azoka for his public threat of.
All right, so that's it over there. And Honorable Patricia Appiagyei making those remarks in Parliament today. It's been very hot for the, I must say, the minority. And you know there is a by-election pending already. By 1st of December, Matthew Nyendam's Pandai seat will be shaken, will be threatened. Probably on Tuesday, seat may be called as vacant, and the Electoral Commission will be indicated to do a by-election in 30 days by the Speaker of Parliament. In addition to this very subject, the Speaker of Parliament yesterday indicated to all members of Parliament not to be commenting about this issue in the public domain. So he ordered MPs or members of Parliament to refrain from commenting on the ruling as delivered yesterday on Avenyomaken.
It falls to the Speaker, in the first instance, to determine whether the facts disclosed in the complaint established a prima facie case warranting referral to the committee. Members recall that I deferred my ruling to the next day, and that was to be Wednesday, 12 November 2025. However, the pressures of business on the order paper made it impossible to deliver the ruling on that day. I am now in a position to do so. In considering this matter, I have reflected carefully on the facts alleged, the standing orders, and the relevant constitutional and statutory provisions governing 1, the authority of Parliament, 2, the binding force of parliamentary resolutions, and 3, the scope of Parliament's contempt jurisdiction. What is the nature and effect of a resolution of Parliament? Honourable members, a resolution of Parliament is a formal act through which the House expresses its collective will on a matter properly before it. Once adopted, a resolution becomes a binding decision of the House until it is rescinded, suspended, or varied in accordance with the standing orders of the House. A resolution, therefore, has continuing effect, and the Speaker, as the presiding authority, is bound to give effect to it. While the Speaker may clarify the scope or meaning of a resolution, he cannot amend, modify, or disregard it unilaterally. Honourable members, this principle reflects the doctrine of collective responsibility. When Parliament speaks through a resolution, that decision binds all members, irrespective of political affiliation, leadership status, or personal opinion. As Eskime reminds us, and I quote Eskime, the dignity of Parliament depends upon the observation of its rules, and the authority of Parliament depends upon their enforcement, unquote. This is the foundation upon which parliamentary collective responsibility rests. So what is the power and scope of Parliament's contempt jurisdiction? Contempt of Parliament refers to any act or omission that obstructs, impedes, or undermines Parliament in the performance of its functions, or which affronts its dignity, or tends either directly or indirectly to obstruct, impede, undermine Parliament in the performance of its functions, or affront the dignity, of Parliament. Parliament's power to address contempt is inherent in its constitutional status as a coordinate arm of government and is expressly recognized under Article 122 of the Constitution, Order 30 of the Standing Orders, and Section 26 of the
All right, so I'll be getting you the exact place he ordered all members of Parliament to refrain from making pronouncements about the referral of the minority leader, Osahene Afenyomarkin, into the Privileges Committee in our next video insert. But now let's move to Kumasi right now, because there is a breaking news coming all the way from Kumasi. A Kumasi High Court has ruled that Akosua Sewa and Patricia Priscilla, I might say, Ofori, popularly known as Odobroni, are the two surviving wives of the late High Life legend Charles Kojo Fosu, widely known as Daddy Lumba or DL. Akosua Sewa Fosu had asked the court to declare her the only surviving wife and the sole person entitled to widowhood rights. She further sought an order restraining Odobroni from identifying herself as the musician's wife and preventing the head of the Corner family from recognizing her as such. And this is an insert all the way from Kumasi, and this are legal, those who led the legal team of the Corner Bushia family. And this is what they have to say after court proceedings today.
Because it's a win-win situation for all. It's a win-win situation. Both wives, both women are wives, which is very paramount. This is the peace that Daddy Lumba so much desired. And we are hopeful that 13th December he'll be buried, for him to go and continue with the peace that he wants.
So, regards to the funeral date, was the court made any decision on that? Or
No, the court
we are
didn't.
hearing that they are going to do it on March.
We haven't heard that. We are speaking from Ebusapeni's voice. He said 13th December. So until he communicates any other information, it is still 13th December.
So now your client is happy with the decision?
All clients must be happy. Like I said earlier, it is a win-win situation for both women.
Okay, thank you.
Please, the name.
I am Fatih Aliala, and we are a team. So speak to them.
Yes, Council. So from the very beginning, we actually were speaking with you, and you said that all you wanted was for Daddy Lumba's burial. I mean, today is the final verdict. What can you say about this judgment by the court?
Well, if you had the opportunity to sit in court, you will come to the absolute conclusion that this judgment is fair. It recognizes both women as wives of Daddy Lumba, and it affords both women the opportunity to be present at the funeral and perform the necessary kuna. So it's a peaceful situation as far as we are concerned. We couldn't have wished for a better outcome. What has come out is very fair to all both parties, and it's our prayer that at least all the parties, including Akosua Sewa and Madam Priscilla, will accept this and give Daddy Lumba, the legend, the peaceful burial that he deserves.
Do you think that this judgment would actually give peace to the family with regards to the issues arising regarding the burial of Daddy Lumba?
What is important is that why do we want to continue to hold on to grudge when both parties have been afforded the chance at peace? It's not saying one woman is superior to the other. What the judgment is saying is that both women are recognized as wives. What the family wants has been reaffirmed by the court, and it is something that must be respected. It's a chance at peace, and whoever loves peace, whoever loves Daddy Lumba, whoever loves his music, whoever loves the fact that this man is a legend and deserves a peaceful after-death event, should accept this judgment. I'm Lawyer Dominic Ojose, and once again to my left is Lawyer Ali Fati and Lawyer Hudi, and we are from Agyeman-Rawlings.
Right, so there you have it. Lawyer Fati over there and Lawyer Kwejo Osei, counsel for the family or the Bushapenye of Daddy Lumba. It's a good time to just take a little listen to dear and beloved legend Daddy Lumba, and we'll go for just a spot of break. When we return, I'll take you to the Black Star Square today because we are paying honor and celebrating the legacy of the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Just after this breather, enjoy Daddy Lumba and a quick breather. I'll be right back. Hi there, what number is this? 3, right? All right, it's time for NSG News. Welcome, my name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and here at NSG News, you'll get serious documentary to watch, news, reviews, views, and what have you, because we have Pulse of the Week and also exclusive on the hot seat. On NSG News, we say news with integrity. Hello, welcome back. It's your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. Fiercely independent. This is NSG News, news with integrity. And this is Pulse of the Week, your comprehensive news analysis program, coming to you from our studios here at Adenta Amahia in the Greater Accra region of the Republic of Ghana. Wherever you are watching us from, we are happy you have joined us. Thank you very much. We are live on YouTube at NSG News. Let's do some more stories over here. Hi there, what number is this? 3, right? All right, it's time for NSG News. Welcome, my name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and here at NSG News, you'll get serious documentary to watch, news, reviews, views, and what have you, because we have Pulse of the Week and also exclusive on the hot seat. On NSG News, we say news with integrity.
You know, if you look at the last election, some were in complete shock
of the results.
Yes. While we were telling them 6 months before that
yes. So you are a traitor or what? I don't know.
The last person who will be a traitor in this country will be me. I'm very patriotic.
It is alleged that NDC is sponsoring you to do their dirty work. Let me put it that way. That's my word, dirty work, to discredit the advances of the MPP. You've been drawn into partisan politics. How do you come out of this one?
One, I have not been contracted, required to do anything for NDC against any entity in this country. Absolutely not. I don't belong to the NDC. I don't belong to the MPP. I don't have political party affiliation with any other party. No. Now look, where we are in Hacho now. I remember when I was going to write the O-levels, I didn't have money to pay for the fees. So I had to carry labor, do by day labor. Here. We're one of those who started building houses in this area as a laborer. You have to even go and carry the cement from afar because there were no buildings to store them in. This would be the shock. We were branded as mad people. But the numbers we were banding around was in excess of a 2.something million gap. We have to realize that the country, Ghana, has changed profoundly, even from 2016 levels.
I think it wasn't Ghana government funded.
No, it wasn't Ghana government funded. No, on your own you struggle, and then you go to Denmark. I remember when I arrived in Frankfurt, on my way to Denmark, I had only $500 in my pocket, and that was to pay for your accommodation, pay for your feeding, pay for everything.
and sincere apologies. We had a little technical hitch over there. But we are back now from Amahia Studios here in Accra, Ghana. This is Pulse of the Week, and it's a Friday, 28th day of November 2025. And I'm your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. Fiercely independent. This is NSG News. News with integrity. Please, let's continue and bring you some more updates. We are turning over to the legacy and the life of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Today, the President of the Republic, plus the former President Nana Konadu were all present at the state funeral as organized by the state at the Black Star Square today in Accra. And President Mahama has been talking. And this is the story. President John Dramani Mahama has described the late Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings as a pioneering leader whose influence and courage transformed Ghana's political and social space, especially the role of First Lady. Delivering a tribute read on his behalf at Konadu's state funeral, President John Dramani Mahama said the nation was mourning a truly remarkable woman whose legacy would endure for generations.
Tribute by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Today we gather with heavy hearts to honor the life and legacy of a truly remarkable woman, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. She was a towering national figure whose influence, courage, and contributions to Ghana will continue to resonate for generations. Nana Konadu was far more than a former First Lady. She was a pioneering leader, an unwavering champion of women's empowerment, a trailblazer in our political landscape, and a deeply committed patriot. Her life story is one defined by boldness to speak, to challenge, to lead, and to stand resolutely for what she believed was right for Ghana. As First Lady, she redefined the role and transformed it into a platform for national development. Through her inspirational leadership of the 31st December Women's Movement, she expanded opportunities for women and girls, especially in rural communities where support was most needed. She championed literacy programs, reproductive and maternal health, early childhood education, and economic empowerment initiatives long before these became central themes in our national development agenda. Her work touched thousands of families and laid the groundwork for many of the gender-sensitive policies and social interventions that Ghana benefits from today. In public life, Nana Konadu was assertive, principled, and unyielding in her convictions. She was never afraid to push boundaries or to stand alone when her conscience called her to do so. Yet behind the determined public image was a warm, engaging, humorous woman, devoted to her family and fiercely protective of those she loved. As a mother, grandmother, sister, friend, and mentor, she brought energy, clarity, and purpose to every space she occupied. Nana Konadu lived a life of service, courage, and deep conviction. Even in challenging moments of our national journey, she carried herself with dignity, always guided by her commitment to Ghana's unity, progress, and stability. She believed passionately in the transformative power of women and the potential of young people, and she dedicated her voice and influence to help uplift them. Her passing is a profound loss, not only to her beloved family, to whom Lordina and I extend our heartfelt condolences, but also to our nation. It marks the closing of an important chapter in Ghana's political history and social history, even as her example continues to inspire generations to come. As we bid farewell to Nana Konadu, we celebrate a life richly lived, a life of leadership, advocacy, service, and unbroken purpose. A life that challenged our nation to think boldly and to invest in the potential of its people, especially its women and children. On behalf of my family, on behalf of the National Democratic Congress, and on behalf of a grateful nation, I honor her memory. May her beautiful soul rest in perfect peace, and may her legacy continue to guide us toward a more just, inclusive, and equitable Ghana. Fare thee well, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Ghana will remember you. Thank you.
All right, that's the President's special aide over there, reading the tribute on behalf of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. If you check with your time, it's now 7 o'clock on the dot, and this is NSG News. This is a live stream on YouTube. My name is Kofi Asante Mensah, and I'll be taking you through the passionate and heartfelt tribute as read at the state funeral today. I would want to take you through them. The grandchildren spoke. The children also spoke. Siblings of Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings also gave a tribute. The Achimota School, the school she attended, alma mater, also presented a tribute today. The NDC and the General Secretary for NDC, also Fifi Abikwete, presented a tribute on behalf of the NDC. And you know, she formed a political party called the NDP, National Democratic Party. They also presented a tribute today at the state funeral. And we'll look at how emotional the children were when the casket was being lifted and she was being carried away to go and find a lasting resting place for the former First Lady. It was so touching and very emotional. So I'm going to stay back and ask my producers to take you through all this tribute one after the other. When I return, there will be more here on NSG News, Pulse of the Week with your man, Kofi Asante Mensah. Please stay.
When one woman stood, many rose. A tribute by the Abuetia Ebusia of Impoli. Nana Konadu was a courageous daughter of the Abuetia Ebusia of Impoli and a fierce voice for women and children. Her life's work broke barriers, uplifted generations, and carried our name into places of honor, both at home and across the world. In her life, she embodied the call of Scripture to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves and defend the rights of the poor and needy. Proverbs 31:8-9. Her dedication to the empowerment of women and children was a living testimony of this divine mandate, and in her strength we saw purpose. In her compassion we saw hope. Though she has left our side, the legacy she built continues to shape lives and inspire many. We are proud to call her our own, our Ya Santwa, and we cherish the part she carved for all who follow. Konadu Yado, Deye, Onyamen Faunsi na kukumu. Thank you.
Thank you. Tribute to a trailblazer, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. With hearts full of reverence, the National Democratic Congress today bows to honor a woman whose life changed the course of our nation, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. She was not only a first lady, she was boldness personified. She was the very heartbeat of a movement that reshaped Ghana's political, social, and democratic landscape. From her early years at the Ghana Tourist Board and the Union Trading Company, she engaged directly with the struggles of ordinary women. These encounters ignited in her a fierce determination to fight for dignity, justice, and opportunity, especially for women whose voices had been ignored. In the restless Ghana of the 1980s, she did not stand at the margins. She stepped into the arena not merely to support a revolution, but to define one. A founding of the 31st December Women's Movement was one of the boldest acts of leadership in our national history. What began as an idea became a nationwide transformational engine that empowered women, millions of women, nurtured community leadership, and restored confidence in those who had once been invisible. Under her commanding and charismatic leadership, over 870 early childhood centers rose across the country. Today, thousands of adults in their 30s and 40s carry the gift of early education because Nana Konadu and her movement walked into their communities and planted opportunities where none existed. Her work was practical, personal, and profoundly transformational. Her advocacy went far beyond education. Through literacy drives, micro-enterprise programs, and legal reform, she helped thousands of women become informed earners and confident citizens. Her boldness influenced the passage of the Interstate Succession Law, PNDC 111, a watershed legislation many rightly call the Nana Konadu Law. She stood between widows and injustice, fighting to ensure that no woman was left homeless or powerless in her darkest hour. Her fearlessness also took Ghana to the world stage. At the 1995 Beijing conference, she spoke for the African girl child with a clarity and authority that commanded global respect. Above all, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings was a foundational pillar of both the PNDC and the NDC. She did not operate from the background. She was at the very center, organizing women, building structures, shaping strategy, strengthening grassroots, and helping give birth to a party that was not just political, but deeply...
Beloved, we are now taking the last but one tribute for this service. And the tribute is from the Old Achimotans Association, Combined Year Group, 66-67. Please, if you are here, you can just come here. The reader can use this podium.
May I respectfully invite all Achimotans, that's our custom, to come near the casket, attired or otherwise. We'll sing our school hymn, before the tribute, and then a school song after the tribute. Thank you. Thank you. Great city of the outlaws here. Upon a desert hill, may living waters rise in thee, and from thy children wider flow the rivers of eternity. Nana Konadu was a born leader. While still a pupil at the Ghana International School, GIS, living in the rich area of Accra, she marshaled the neighborhood children into a group called the Feather Club. They held parties, sang punk songs, and put on plays for their parents. Nana was a clear organizer and creative force, though her uncle Harry served as the official manager. She acted, sang, and danced, and even choreographed and performed ballets. In September 1961, she entered Achimota School, where she continued to shine. She formed a girls' pop group for Pop Chain and was renowned for her powerful rendition of Aretha Franklin's Respect. She also took leading roles in the popular Gilbert and Sullivan operettas, which always drew large public audiences. Her early experience with the Feather Club proved invaluable in helping organize the annual Kingsley House Entertainment Night. Years later, some Accras recalled being baffled by the ballet performances, their first introduction to the dance form. During the tribal drumming and dancing nights, Nana was as comfortable dancing Adwa as she was performing ballet or other types of dances. Queen Elizabeth II made a state visit to Ghana in November 1961, just 2 months after Nana had entered the school. With Achimota on her itinerary, a physical education group was selected to perform for her. Polished by her GIS training in gymnastics and ballet, Nana was the star of the show with her lips, her splits, and incredible handstands. She also excelled at athletics, confidently sailing over the high jump bar at heights
she was so active in sports,
ducked under, and a valued sprinter in the 4x100 and 4x200 yard relay teams.
She was part of the relay team.
During house practices, she would encourage and coach her less proficient peers in rounders, netball, and hockey. She also swam and took up lawn tennis in sixth form. She was a key player on Kingsley House teams and represented the school in local and international competitions.
Tamaklo the Sith, Dogby, you do it now.
There we have it, the grandchildren.
She
also
was a once-in-a-lifetime woman. My grandmother was a light that seemed woven from something beyond this world. She carried a fire that crackled through every movement of her life. My grandmother moved through life like a flame that knew its own strength, bright, daring, and unafraid to burn with purpose. Her presence filled every space. To know her was to feel seen, lifted, and empowered. But beyond the power the world saw, who was she as a grandmother? What was it like to grow up beside that blaze of grace, elegance, mischief, and excitement? That is a story I want to share. She was the most fascinating woman, with stories pouring out of her every time she spoke. These were not ordinary stories. They were vibrant, dramatic, action-packed tales, delivered with a spark in her voice that made you feel as though you were living these stories right beside her. She found humor in the most unexpected ways, in the unexpected corners of life. Only she could transform National Geographic into a telenovela, turning the animal kingdom into primetime entertainment. With Grandma, glamour never rested. Even at home, she pranced around in high-heeled slippers, as if elegance itself were a language she spoke effortlessly. A quiet reminder that beauty for her was simply a way of being.
Former President of our Republic,
so the arrival
Nana Akufo-Addo.
Nana Akufo-Addo, in your shot over there. Today at the Black Star Square. Nana Konadu in your shot.
Together with former First Lady, his wife, Her Excellency Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo.
So Mrs. Rebecca Akufo-Addo, Her Excellency, former First Lady, wife of Nana Konadu, Adogagai, Ado show boy. Going to pay their last respect to the former First Lady, Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. So that's Nana, former President of the Republic of Ghana, His Excellency Nana Konadu over there, paying his homage, last respect to Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. And I must say, Nana Konadu was lifted up and basically buried at the military. All right, so that's the shot over there, the children being emotional over there when the casket was lifted up. And she was laid to rest at the military burial ground close to Kofi Annan, the former UN General Secretary from Ghana. Kofi Annan. She was laid close to Kofi Annan. And that's Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings being carried away in the casket over there. And this is the official state burial today at the Black Star Square here in Accra. Bidding farewell to Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. Action. Thank you very much. And that was quite emotional, taking you down memory lane. What happened today by way of state burial and farewell for the former First Lady Nana Konadu Agyeman-Rawlings. I'm going for a quick breather. When I return, we'll be going back to Parliament to look at the budget as read by Ato Forson last week. The debate has been on. Today, they wrapped up the debate, and I'm here to share details with you. Please stay with me. When I return from the break, there'll be more. Please stay.
A whole new beginning. Get used to it. I have stepped into my new beginning. Yesterday is gone. Yesterday of darkness is gone. A whole new beginning. Yeah, 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 yeah. Get used to it. I've stepped into my new level. See me watching me flying on eagle's wing. A whole new beginning.
All right, so welcome back. It's yours truly, Kofi Asante. After morning, let me take off my dark glasses and do some other one over here, because we are coming to talk about the budget 2026. And the budget 2026 government has placed human development and shared prosperity at the center of the 2026 budget, with significant funding commitment across social protection, health, education, creative industries, and infrastructure. As they wrap up the budget today in Parliament, in the August House, I want to start with the minority, and he was given some 1 hour yesterday, I must say, to make some good remarks about the budget, and the majority was also given same, and the finance minister, Ato Forson, doctor, was called back to make his closing remarks. I want to take you first. Let's start with Afenyo Maken Osahene, the minority leader.
It is not even an honest accounting of our nation's condition. Mr. Speaker, this budget is built on propaganda, sustained by abandonment, and destined to deepen the suffering of ordinary Ghanaians. Mr. Speaker, simply put, this is not a budget. It is a national retreat disguised as a national plan. But Mr. Speaker, this government must keep in mind that it keeps repeating that it inherited a collapsed, comatose, lifeless economy in January 2025. But the World Bank, not the minority, not the MPP, but the World Bank, in its official Ghana review overview updated on October 6, 2025, recalls the truth. Quote, stabilization has improved conditions with 2024 growth at 5.7%. Mr. Speaker, this must sink. 5.7% real GDP growth in 2024 before this government touched the wheel. Now compare that with their own projections. In their 2025 budget, they projected growth at 3.3%, a collapse of 2.4 percentage points. Even the World Bank's generous assessment reaches only 4.3% for 2025. And for 2026, this budget promises 4.8%. The arithmetic is brutal. The 2024 under Nanado's MPP, 5.7 growth, this has been certified by the World Bank. 2025 under NDC, 3.3% to 4.3% growth, according to their own figures. Then the 2026 under the same NDC, they project 4.8%. If 5.7% growth is comatose, what name should we give to 3.3%? Paralyzed, dead, or arrival? By their own numbers, the economy is now performing worse than the so-called collapse they claim they inherited. The truth is merciless. MPP handed over a stabilized, recovering economy growing at 5.7%. The NDC slowed it at 3 to 4%. Mr. Speaker, when you slow down faster than the dead economy you inherited, you cannot claim to have inherited ruins. This grand deception is the foundation of everything that follows. Every abandoned program, every misprioritized allocation, and every constitutional violation. Once this lie is exposed, everything else begins to crumble. Is the reason why I reminded my colleagues that if you rise to eminence by merit, you live respected. Now your lies, your propaganda, stand exposed after you lie to the people. Mr. Speaker, let me turn to the human consequences of this deception. 6 Ghanaian women died in a stampede at Elwak Stadium. They were not there because they all...
All right, so that's Osahene Agyeman-Rawlings over there, indicating that the budget 2026 as presented by the finance minister is full of mistakes, errors on Kwa. Let's move to the majority leader. Majority leader Mama Yariga says the 2026 budget presented to Parliament reflects a decisive turnaround in Ghana's economic management, arguing that the country has moved from what he described as criminal handling of the economy to a regime of produce within just 1 year. He lauded the gold board and he was full of praise for the gold board.
To confirm what I have said, Mr. Speaker, let's go to the mining sector. Let's go to the mining sector. Gold exports increased by 71.4%. We moved it, earnings from gold, from $13.3 billion US, when last year MPP got only $7.7 billion US. So from 7.7 billion to 13.3 billion. Mr. Speaker, that is because the Honorable Agyeman-Rawlings, very, very smart Forson, forced and introduced the policy of gold board. Gold board, Chairman one. So Agyeman-Rawlings, Ato Forson. Mr. Speaker, the introduction of gold board completely transformed the sector, and we are seeing the impressive results.
So that's the majority leader over there. He says the reset agenda is still on, and he has more to say. He stressed that the shift in economic direction in 1 year was remarkable, especially when compared to what he called the criminally handling of the economy. And he has more to share with us in this insert. Please watch this.
In 2025, unlike the mess he inherited, he achieved 115% reduction in administrative expenses from 930 million Ghana cedis in 2024 half year to 2025 half year. Half of it was achieved. 115% reduction was achieved. 115% reduction in administrative expenses. The Haptel infamous contract was renegotiated from 3% to 1.65%. And in the process, he saved Ghana 13.2 million Ghana cedis monthly, every month. The 13.2 million every month can construct many schools in your constituencies, many hospitals in your constituencies. It can add to the construction of Agenda 111 hospitals, and he has saved that. Mr. Speaker, he has terminated 202 underperforming contracts, saving Ghana $227 million United States dollars. And to cap it, he delivered a record-breaking revenue collection of 1.7 billion Ghana cedis in June 2025. Never happened.
All right, so that's more for you. I have another insert from Mahama Ayariga, where he is basically describing and likening what is surrounding Ken Ofori-Atta to some biblical stories. You'll be happy to hear it. The majority leader in Parliament, Mahama Ayariga, delivered a special sermon in Parliament, the August House, during his concluding remarks on the 2026 budget debate, drawing comparison from between former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta and Zacchaeus in the Bible. Watch this.
Now, the former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta wants us to sympathize with him that he is sick. Even when he was sick and his own MPs wanted him to resign, he refused and said he could manage the economy despite his obvious ill health. We're all here in this chamber. It was obvious that he wasn't well, but he insisted on managing the economy. Today, he's being called to come and account, and we are being told that we should sympathize with him because he is sick. Mr. Speaker, for 4 good years, he turned this chamber into a Bible school. I remember his famous proverb, his famous Bible quotations. Matthew 14:13-21. He referred us to the loaves and fish parables. I remember Deuteronomy 8:18. Mr. Speaker, after many years of tutelage, after many years of being taught by Ken Ofori-Atta, which we have learned the Bible. So today, I'll refer him to Luke 19, verse 1 to 10. Luke 19, verse 1 to 10. And since my brother started with a lengthy Bible quotation, let me also go through a lengthy Bible quotation. Luke 19, verses 1 to 10 says, Jesus entered Jericho and was passing through. A man was there by the name of Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector. What was Kenoforiata? Chief tax collector. He was in charge of GRA. And what do GRA do? They collect tax. So clearly, Zacchaeus in the Bible resembles Kenoforiata. A man was there by the name Zacchaeus. He was a chief tax collector. And he was wealthy. A man who owns a bank, data bank, owns enterprise. Is he not a wealthy man? Is there no resemblance between Zacchaeus and Kenoforiata? He wanted to see Jesus. He wanted to see Jesus. But because he was short, he could not see over the crowd. So he ran ahead and climbed a cyclone fig tree to see him, since Jesus was coming that way. When Jesus reached the spot, he looked up and said to him, Zacchaeus, come down immediately. I say to Kenoforiata, come back to Ghana immediately. And Jesus said to Zacchaeus, I must stay at your house today. Mr. Speaker, if you recall, we tried to go and stay in his house recently. So he came down at once. And Jesus welcomed.
Oh, Zacchaeus, come down. Kenoforiata. Oh my goodness. Hey, parliamentarians, it's good. It's good. Let's still remain in Parliament this evening. Speaker of Parliament, Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagwin, has clarified that the Bandai Member of Parliament, Matthew Nyendam, remains an active member of Parliament despite the Tamale High Court annulment of the 2024 parliamentary election result for the constituency. Speaking in Parliament on Thursday, November 26, 2025, Speaker explained that under Court of Appeal rules, once a notice of appeal is filed, it automatically stays the High Court's decision for 7 days. And this was his ruling.
As Member of Parliament elect for the Pandai constituency, pursuant to the parliamentary elections held on the 7th of December 2024. Honorable members, the effect of the order, to my understanding, is that the Electoral Commission is to conduct a rerun election within 30 days, implying that the original declaration of Honorable Matthew Nyendam as the winner of the parliamentary election is invalid, and the member is no longer a member of Parliament. I, however, bring to the attention of the House the provisions of the Court of Appeal Rules 1997 CI-19 as amended in the Court of Appeal Rules 2020 CI-132, Rule 27(3), and it provides as follows. I quote, there shall be a stay of execution of the judgment or decision appealed against for a period of 7 days immediately following the giving of notice of the judgment or decision, unquote. This rule appears mandatory in its terms and applies in every High Court decision capable of appeal. The Supreme Court in Mensah versus Ghana Commercial Bank, 2005 to 2006, Supreme Court Ghana Law Report, at page 388, held that any execution commenced before the expiry of this 7-day period is premature and void. The Court of Appeal reaffirmed this position in Clenham Construction Limited versus Falcon Crest, the 7th of April 2022, emphasizing that the purpose of the statutory stay is to allow the losing party the opportunity to consider the judgment and determine whether to appeal or seek further relief. Justice Ma J.A. explained the position of Lord Das, and I quote him, the plain meaning, scope, and effect of Rule 27.3b, CI19 is that in respect of any ruling, judgment, or decision of the High Court of whatever description, in respect of which an appeal can be filed, and further.
The Minister of Education, Haruna Idrisu, has disclosed that some senior high school students are using government-issued tablets to access pornographic materials instead of study materials. The devices, which are being distributed under the free senior high school program, are meant to support digital learning across the country.
Ghana is going digital with its free senior high school initiative. I inherited a contract worth about $337 million, where some 1.3 million tablets was to be distributed across the country to all free senior high schools in the country, so that learners can have access to digital tools. I'm told that deployment of that is around 980,000. We are through GET Fund supporting the distribution across the country. But my attention this morning, Mr. Speaker, was drawn to the fact that many of the devices are not customized, and the students are using it for other purposes, including pornography, which is not acceptable. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, government is taking a high view of it, and there must be restrictions as to what the tablets can be used for, and it should be used strictly for purpose of study. The curriculum is offloaded onto the tablet. It will facilitate digital learning. Mr. Speaker, we are to be minded that when you are training students, you are training them to be globally competitive. And therefore, we have to take investment in digital skills and digital technology and its deployment much more seriously with increased investment. I thank you.
President John Dramani Mahama yesterday officially launched the Vegetable Development Project, component of the government Feed Ghana program, declaring it the start of a new chapter in our national agricultural resilience. The project, dubbed Yeridua, was launched in Kukomo, the capital of Sonafo South District in the Ahafo region, to reposition Ghana as a net vegetable producer and address the nation's heavy reliance on imports.
Farmers involved have begun receiving substantial support in the form of improved seeds, organic fertilizer, agronomic training, and digital advisory services. A committed buyer, FarmMate, has been introduced to secure predictable markets for all the farmers' produce. Additionally, a modern pack house will be constructed to handle the grading, the sorting, packaging, and cold chain management of all the vegetables that are produced. The entire project has been carefully designed to be completed within 12 months. This vegetable development project will be replicated in many other parts of the country, especially in the north where water availability is a major challenge at many times of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, the vegetable development project is not a standalone intervention. It is integrated into our broader Feed Ghana 2025 to 2028 agricultural transformation agenda, which seeks to restore Ghana's food security and agro-industrial dynamism. Under this project, government is scaling up the production of strategic commodities such as rice, maize, soya bean, vegetables, cassava.
Let's move on to some SML stories, because their lawyer organized a press briefing this week, and he is indicating that the briefing is very important. And they said the briefing was needed due to biased investigations by the OSP, Office of the Special Prosecutor. The OSP allegedly used the media to damage SML's reputation. He said they responded to the President of Ghana's directive to end the contract. The directive was based mainly on the OSP's report, and they say it is fair to also hold a press briefing to update Ghanaians.
So, ordinarily, as lawyers, we do our talking in the courtroom. However, because of the barrage of misinformation and skewed investigations, especially by the OSP, and an agenda set by the OSP to use the media to run down SML. The reason we have called for this presser. Now, earlier this afternoon, we delivered a comprehensive response to the President of the Republic of Ghana on his directive for the contract between Ministry of Finance, GRA, and SML to be terminated, which hinged largely on the report of the OSP. In the letter submitted to the President and also to the Attorney General, we provided documentary evidence to each and every paragraph and elaborated on the true and accurate picture of the GRA Ministry of Finance SML contract. We are confident that a review of the documents presented to the President and the AG would help them appreciate the matters and form a fair and independent opinion on the termination directive. Our goal today with you, the press, is not rhetoric, but also to provide clarity and evidence. Please note that we are here to provide you with evidence. Given the extreme, deliberate misinformation in the guise of investigation, and then also distortion and political coloration by the OSP of the facts concerning SML's operations, ownership, and institutional collaboration.
Now let's shift attention to some sports as we run up today, Friday, November 28th, Pulse of the Week. And we move into sports now. But we begin from the Chief of Staff, Julius Debra. He has called on the Ministerial Oversight Committee tasked with Ghana's 2026 World Cup participation to lead with accountability, speed, and national conscientiousness as the country embarks on an ambitious journey to the global tournament. Addressing the committee at its inaugural ceremony on Wednesday, November 26, Julius Deborah emphasized that the World Cup is not yet a 90-minute event, but a catalyst for national transformation and development.
We need to remind ourselves that the World Cup is not just about what happens over 90 minutes. It is about what we do with the 4 years leading up to it and 4 years that follow. The road to 2030 begins now. This oversight committee must lead with accountability, speed, and national consciousness. The time for scattered efforts is over. That's why we say we are resetting our country. We cannot afford to enter 2026 with the mindset of 2014 and 2010. Let us correct what must be corrected and amplify what can be built. Let us lead with clarity. Let us act with urgency. Let us project Ghana with discipline and pride. I thank you all and wish you well in your endeavors.
Right, so Ghana is going for its is a fourth or fifth participation of the World Cup, and there is a warning from the Canadian High Commission. So with excitement everywhere, please be warned that the Canadian High Commission is warning you relating to visa and all those things. So the Canadian High Commission has made some pronouncements ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup that Ghanaians should be very careful with visa scam and people who smuggle and take people for granted by way of visa scam. This is the warning.
We are working very closely with our colleagues in the US and in Mexico just to ensure that we have some cohesion and coherence in the way in which we approach the World Cup. Clearly, my advice will be for people that are interested in attending the World Cup to ensure that they are putting in their visa application as early as possible. And the reason for that is that you also have lots of third-party organizations that will try to pretend that they can make it easier or faster or guarantee that there will be a visa. That is simply not true. The best way is to go directly to the source, and to avoid scammers will be to go directly to the source. So putting on an application using the channels of our respective government when it comes to immigration. I rest assured that our objective is to ensure that the process is as smooth as possible. We are anticipating that there will be lots of demands, and my recommendation to actually put in an application as soon as possible and to ensure that the application is as complete as possible and that you have a very good rationale as to how long you're going to be staying and that you have a means to also support yourself during your stay, be it in whatever host country you decide to go to.
So that's Canada's High Commissioner to Ghana, Her Excellency Marianne Montrat. And that's our production for today. My name is yours truly, Kofi Asante Mensah. Before I go, I want to say a special birthday to Eliazar Vikpohu Ewenam. And happy birthday to today. It's your birthday, 28th of November, 2025. Celebrate with joy and God's goodness and mercy, peace and love from this end of the world. And your sister Enam says hi to you and enjoy your day. It's your birthday, celebrate. Rather it's evening, but we'll send you some momo to enjoy. All right, thank you very much, and special good evening to you, Roki. You are watching us all the way from Spintex. Thank you very much for being there for us. And Ruth, you're also watching us in Ekriapem. Thank you very much. My name has been Kofi Asante Mensah. Thank you to the production team. I'll start with Kofi and Kofi Berry. We'll call him Kofi Berry and Francis Entry. Thank you very much. And a big one to our boss over here, Justice Kluche. Justice Kluche. Thank you, operations manager. And to our executive secretary, Zeba. Thank you, Zeba. God bless you. And to the executive director, AM Liquid. God bless you, sir. Until we meet again, probably on Wednesday. God be our guardian. I'm leaving you in the safe hands of our legendary Daddy Lumba. Kofi, you say, wait, it's another day. Wabeto. Is it correct? Enjoy it. It's Friday. Enjoy. Next week Friday, it's a holiday, Thursday. So we'll be here to do it Wednesday and Friday. So stay. Thank you. God bless you. Kofi Asante saying bye-bye. Ta-ta. Bye.
She never met